Hey guys, this is Two Girls Chirping. I'm Lauren.
I'm Abby,
And this week we are going to be talking about.
the New Jersey Devils and
Okay.
the New York Rangers.
And this week, for those who are interested, mostly me, what I'm drinking out of.
Very cute, very demure, very hot girl of you. The shirt, even.
Oh, yeah, the shirt. If you know, you know.
Well, speaking of F1, the first team we're going to talk about is the New Jersey Devils. And their Formula One equivalent, I put as Ferrari. Now, okay, I know that I said last week that the Islanders were Ferrari without the Tifosi.
Mm-hmm.
This time, I'll give them Tifosi credits. I did a whole video. I don't even know if you saw it.
I did. I laughed really hard.
Of explaining the Tifosi.
With Tifosi? Tifosi in video?
It's like I can't even explain it. So I was like, I'll just
It's
show
insane.
it. It's insane. But they have a pretty big fan base and a pretty not intense, but yeah, they're up there. They care a lot about their team.
Okay.
But anyways, with two teams being Ferrari, there's only 10 F1 teams. There's gonna be overlap. There's 32.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because 8 times 4 is 32.
Mm-hmm.
Math.
So there's gonna be overlap. But I said large fan base that love them. Players that TikTok absolutely thirsts after.
Yep.
Plus a young guy that they put all of their dreams in way early on in his career.
Yeah, that's Ferrari down to a T.
Yeah.
That are their colors red?
Yes.
It is Ferrari. We have
Red,
secured
white,
the
and black.
Ferrari.
Yeah, they had a period of dominance a couple years ago.
Okay.
And they had the opportunity to seize it all, but they couldn't put it together and execute. So it's giving
Bummer.
It's giving when Charles Leclerc had the opportunity to win a championship, and then it just.
Yeah, that was my original depression.
And it literally
my original Formula One depression.
It literally exploded into flames, if I remember correctly, multiple times.
Yeah. Yeah, our engines were not thriving, and neither were our drivers, and neither were us.
No, we were not. The Devils were founded in 1974 in Kansas City.
Okay.
So they were originally the Kansas City Scouts.
What a name upgrade, if I dare say.
Yeah. They have 3 Stanley Cups.
Okay.
For 95, 2000, and 2003.
Okay.
They have 5 conference championships. 95 again, 2000, 2001, 2003, and then 2012.
Okay.
And 9 division championships. I'm not going to list all of those. There's a lot.
Okay, so they're winning.
They're pretty good. They are
the early 2000s were good to them.
Yeah, the late 90s, the early 2000s were their prime. They're probably consistently like second or third in the division.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
During those championships, were they the New Jersey Devils or were they still the Kansas City Scouts?
They were the New Jersey Devils.
Okay.
So, 1974, they're founded. Kansas City, the Scouts. All you need to know is they were bad.
Lame?
They were really bad. At one point,
scouting for some talent.
Yeah, at one point they had a 27-game-long losing streak.
Oh,
and this is when seasons, now they have 82 games in a season. They did not have that many back then.
Golly.
Yeah.
Scouting for a new team to play on.
Yeah. The League of the Players, there's like a separate situation. Publicly expressed concerns about if players would even be able to be paid because they didn't have any fans coming in. They weren't making any money because they weren't winning anything.
We're broke and poor?
Yeah. So then
that doesn't make sense. You can't be broke and poor.
Yes,
those
you
are
can.
the same.
So you can't.
They were
bad.
They were broke losers.
Yeah.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah. So in 1976, they moved to Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
And they became the Colorado Rockies. And
another fail.
Yeah. They continued to be mediocre. In their first season there, they were on track to make the playoffs, but then went on an 18-game losing streak.
What happened there?
They can't put it together. They're Ferrari.
Fair enough. Fumble in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they ended up last in their division.
Ooh.
And so then In 1982, they moved to New Jersey and they became the New Jersey Devils.
So they literally had no success up
Yeah.
until they became the New Jersey Devils, which is an amazing name. So I get it.
Great name.
If I knew I was playing the New Jersey Devils, I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh my gosh.
a little shiver.
I want y'all to know, I was doing research into this, and I stumbled down a rabbit hole of why they're called the New Jersey Devils. Don't worry, I'm gonna drag you down that rabbit hole as well. But
Aboard.
I have been waiting not so patiently to tell Lauren about this. I'm so freaking excited. In those 8 years where they were in Colorado and Kansas, they had 10 different coaches. Not a single one lasting more than 2 seasons.
Yikes.
Yeah. 1982, they move. The team, first of all, now it's currently based in Newark. They moved from East Rutherford, New Jersey to Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
There's not much of a difference, but I feel like I should point it out. They moved in 2008. So when they moved, the team was sold to John McMullen, who owned the Houston Astros.
Baseball? Yeah, you know I don't know baseball, but
Baseball.
I knew that.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Yeah. So he had previous experience.
Yeah,
owning
you know
a
how to
sports
work.
team. Yeah.
Not his first time.
No, not his first time. We'll talk about the New York Rangers, but we know the Islanders are in New York, the Rangers are in New York. New Jersey, the Devils are located, I think it's 14 miles away. You can see them from the Ranger Stadium. You can see their stadium.
They've got 3 different teams, and Alabama has 0.
Yeah.
Can we not send someone our way?
Please.
Please.
So they have to pay compensation to the Islanders and the Rangers, and also the Flyers for encroaching on their territory, which
just move to Alabama.
Just move here.
Move to Birmingham.
In their second season in New Jersey, they lost to the Oilers 13-4.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Wayne Gretzky, who played for
I know him.
You know
One of
him.
the greats.
Yeah, he played for the Oilers.
Okay.
He was quoted afterwards saying that they were putting a Mickey Mouse operation on ice. In response, the Devils fans wore Mickey Mouse merch.
Heck yeah. That's what I like to see. They go low, we go lower.
They did continue to
also,
lose.
Disney on Ice slaps.
Slaps.
They do. Do you know how skilled you have to be on Disney on Ice? Let's talk about that for a second.
Yeah, you're so right.
No disrespect.
They continued to be mediocre until Lou Lamoriello was appointed by the owner of the team.
Sorry, I tried so hard to keep it in.
It sounds like limoncello.
You know who it is? Lamanello.
Are you doing the black and yellow thing?
Yes.
He was hired to be the team president, and he was a bit controversial because people thought he was trying to take too much control of the team, but he did, quote, in an effort to gain more control, appointed himself general manager.
Okay.
But he did help lead the team to more success than they had in the past. In the 1987 to the 1988 season, they beat the Rangers, their rivals, for the final spot in playoffs for the first time in franchise history.
Okay.
Yeah. They made it all the way to the conference finals where they lost to the Bruins, which the Bruins are freaking talented. So.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. After that game, Jim Schofield, the head coach, yelled extremely unprofessional insults at the ref when he fell down on the ice because I guess he was unhappy with some calls and was given a suspension by the NHL.
Period.
But they allowed him to coach the next game.
That doesn't make a lot of sense. That's not a suspension.
And the other refs that were supposed to coach that game basically refused to work it.
Period.
They were like, we won't be disrespected.
First of all, if you want to be a dick, go do that in your own time.
Yeah.
Wait, did the ref fall down?
Yeah.
So the ref fell on the ground. He was like, "You beepity beep 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 beeper."
Yeah.
And the ref was like, "I'm just trying to do my job."
Yeah.
Okay, I'm tracking.
Yeah.
I'm tracking.
all the other refs were like, we're not gonna.
Fuck this guy.
He got suspended. We're not gonna do this for him. So
that doesn't make a lot of sense. That makes actually no sense once you think about it.
Yeah, right? You would think. So the refs refused to play.
I like it.
They had to call in like some emergency refs to come and do the game. And his suspension was imposed in the following game, which just seems stupid.
That makes no sense, but okay.
Well, they replaced him mid-season. And
Tracks.
then in the following season, a lot of players changed, management changed, they continued to have coaches change.
Yeah, he sounds like an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. With Lou as the general manager. So he was general manager from 1988 to 2012.
No, that's not the year I was born.
No,
My bad.
it's not. It's about a decade early.
Yeah, I heard 8 and got excited. My bad.
From 88 to 2012.
Okay.
With him in the general manager position.
So all through their success.
Yeah. They made playoffs all but 3 times.
Heck yeah.
They qualified for the Stanley Cup final 5 times.
Okay.
And won all 3 of their Stanley Cups.
Dang.
Yeah. After winning the 1994-1995 season Stanley Cup, they became the first team to give their players a day with the Stanley Cup each.
Oh.
So I'll talk about this when we talk about Florida too, but they just basically take the Stanley Cup with them throughout a day.
Just taking it on a Starbucks run.
My favorite thing when the Panthers won was seeing them just like walking to the beach carrying the Stanley Cup down the down the boardwalk.
That is
beach.
so funny.
Yeah, but they became the first team to do that. And
Icons.
now it's kind of a tradition.
That's so cute. It should be.
Isn't it?
I love.
In 2012, they did come into finance problems.
Okay.
The team had to borrow $30 million to make their payroll. So in August of 2013, they sold the team to the Philadelphia 76ers. They still own them today.
Hey, we all got to get paid. I don't care who's paying.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. Most of the time, though, I don't care who's paying.
Yeah. With that change, multiple players retired or departed from 2013 to 2014, so got traded or whatever. And they did not make the playoffs that season. In December of 2014, they fired their head coach and hired 2 head coaches to replace him. Put 2 brains together.
Let's double it.
Let's double it and see.
Let's actually add more chefs in this kitchen.
Yeah.
I want to see hellfire rain down. That's what I'm looking for.
And they did, because they finished the 6th worst team in the league.
Yikes.
With 1 win in the last 11 games of their season.
Oh, that's so depressing.
Lou actually moved to the Maple Leafs to be their general manager and head coach. They missed the playoffs for 4 consecutive seasons and finished last in the conference in 2016 for the first time since 1985.
That's depressing.
Yes. However, yeah.
That's that choir coming out of you. Who is that girl?
Is it Taylor Swift?
Oh, gosh.
However, they actually won the first round pick in the NHL draft. And they selected Nico Hischier.
I bet he was depressed. I bet that was like Joe Burrow getting sent to the freaking Bengals. Just like, oh my God.
Yes.
Okay.
And he is the current team captain, FYI.
Cute.
Yes.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no. I guess he wasn't captain the whole time.
No, he was not captain.
So he's been there for like 9 years. This is his 9th season.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be? 8th
What year is it right now?
2024.
I'm so bad at math. Actually, I just don't know what year it is. I haven't known what year it is since COVID.
It would be like his 8th season.
Okay.
Because in 2017, after that draft, they had the best start in franchise history and clinched a playoff spot for the first time since the 2012 season. They did lose in round 1.
But they win.
But they went.
We went.
For the
we had a
first
good
time in a long time.
until we lost.
Yeah. That season was so good because of mainly 3 people. Nico Hischier, obviously. He was the 2nd best scorer on the team that season.
Okay. Who's that girl? It's Nico.
Taylor Hall. He was traded to that team that season.
Okay.
He went on to win NHL MVP, aka the Hart Memorial Trophy. that year after scoring points in 26 consecutive games.
Pop off, King.
Which is a
pop all the way off.
And Keith Kincaid, the goaltender, who also just had like an incredible season.
That's just the cutest name of a position I've ever heard in my life.
The goaltender. We'll fast forward to 2019. They didn't make the playoffs. Sad. But guess what they did get? The number 1 draft pick.
Again?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to know who they picked?
I'm dying to know.
Jack Hughes.
One of the Hugh brothers. Here we go.
I have filled her in on, I think it was our first episode. I asked you what you knew about hockey, and she said like
they invented hockey.
Yeah, there's this family that people think they invented hockey. He's one of those. They drafted him, expected him to have.
I want to rephrase that. I don't think they invented hockey. I think they're probably just like a freaking dynasty or something. I feel like it has negative connotations when I'm like, I guess they invented hockey. I'm not trying to be a bitch. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. The 2019-2020 season started with a 6-game losing streak.
Not fantastic.
Yeah. Their head coach was fired. Taylor Hall was traded. Yeah. Wayne Simmons was acquired in the offseason.
Okay.
Between those, he was also traded mid-season. Like, he just didn't. Their general manager was fired and replaced with Tom Fitzgerald, who is still the general manager today. COVID happened, halted play.
And they got rid of one of the big 3.
Yeah. And they missed the playoffs again.
Yikes.
In 2021, they did acquire some big names. They acquired Dougie Hamilton, Thomas Tatar, and Jonathan Bernard. Dougie Hamilton is still there. Tatar is still there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really need to know much about them other than they're really talented.
Okay.
They're really good. When Dougie Hamilton is healthy, he's a great player. They can play both ways.
Healthy, wealthy, and blessed.
Yeah. Last season, he did get injured.
Yikes. How did he do that? You've hit your mic so many times.
I know. I hate...
Is it too close to you?
But I don't want to do it up here.
ASMR.
Oh. Okay. And then in 2022-2023, this was the equivalent of Charles Leclerc's attempt to win the championship when we all thought he was going to do it.
Okay.
They had the best regular season in franchise history.
You realize that the years matched. 2022 was the year that Charles had this championship.
Oh my gosh, you're so right. They had the best regular season in franchise history.
Cool.
They went on a 13-game win streak.
That's my favorite number.
Yeah. And they finished 3rd in the league with 52 wins and 112 points. A franchise record.
Look at them go.
Yeah. They had the largest single season points increase because they did so bad the prior season.
The bar was in hell.
And they did so good this season.
Good for them.
They had the largest single points increase since the NHL had started 82 game seasons. Which feels like a bit of a reach for a goal, but hey. They also
we take it.
Yeah. They also acquired Timo Meier mid-season, who is still there. He's a forward.
Okay.
He's a really high point scorer.
Okay.
They also beat the Rangers in the first round of the playoffs for the Stanley Cup.
They're rivals, right?
Yes.
Good. Nothing better, nothing sweeter than beating your rivals.
Oh, it's so good. But they did lose to the Carolina Hurricanes in the second round.
Okay. They lost to your team.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's okay. We beat the Rangers.
Yeah.
The Devils are not.
She's a Devils fan. She was actually out there on the ice. Yeah.
If you looked closely, I was out there.
Yeah. So they went into the 2023-2024 season with great expectations. They were going to go all the way.
Yeah.
And then had a very disappointing season. Jack Hughes got injured and was out at the beginning of the season and then again at the end of the season.
Dang.
With like the same, I think it was probably the same injury. He just didn't fully upper body something. He had to have shoulder surgery at the end of last season. Okay. So it's got to be something to do with that. Nico Hischier, their team captain, got injured. We
were down bad.
Yeah. They were crippled by injuries. Literally. And their head coach at the beginning of the season, Lindy Ruff is their head coach at this time.
Okay.
at the beginning of the season, after having such a terrible start, the fans started chanting "Fire Lindy" at the beginning of every game.
Oh.
For months. Until they had a very short win streak and fans started chanting "Sorry, Lindy."
That's so...
Yeah.
I don't have the mental strength to handle that.
No, me
personally.
neither. We'll talk about some star players on the team real quick. Nico Hischier, we've already spoke about him. Number 1 draft pick. Has been very good, very consistent. He's the team captain. He seems like he's got a very level head. Plays clean.
Ooh, we love. That's green boxes all around.
Yeah. Dougie Hamilton, I talked about him a little bit earlier. He played for Calgary and for Carolina Hurricanes. I didn't know this about him, but both of his parents competed in the 1984 Olympics.
Who?
Dougie Hamilton's.
Okay.
His mom competed in basketball, and his dad competed in boating. I don't know what.
Boating?
Boating, yeah.
Like Boating?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like on a boat.
You were just saying it weird. I was like, I don't think I know that sport.
Yeah,
Boating. Boating. Boating.
Boating.
Put it all together, and what do you get?
Boating.
Okay. So he's a born athlete. That's
Yeah.
genetic.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for them.
Jesper Bratt, he's Swedish. He was a 6th round draft pick, actually, by the Devils in 2006. But he's...
Dang. He's been around.
Yeah. 2016.
All right. We've been around, but less.
He is also just incredibly talented. He's a forward. Jack Hughes, who I discussed earlier, number 1 draft pick by the Devils in 2019, the 3rd youngest player in franchise history to record a point.
How old was he when he got drafted?
18.
A baby? A teenage professional athlete?
Yeah.
I'm terrified of them.
Yeah, me too. And his first goal was against his brother's team.
Brothers play?
So
wait, no, I feel like I knew that. I feel like I knew that his brothers played.
Yeah, Quinn Hughes plays for the Vancouver Canucks. That's the oldest brother.
Vancouver.
But Jack scored his first point against the Vancouver Canucks, which won the Devils that game.
Ooh.
1-0. So he scored the only point in that game against his brother. And
that
it was
his
so first game.
Was it his... Where does Jack fall on the line?
So Quinn Hughes is the oldest, Jack is the middle, and Luke Hughes is the youngest.
Can I ask, how old is the oldest? Are we talking like my age, or 25? Is this like... He's my age? Ugh! There's nothing more humbling than people my age and people younger than me being millionaires while I'm just a nurse.
He's either 24 or 25.
Okay. And Jack is
22, 23.
Okay.
And then
so your age.
Yeah, and then Luke is like I think Luke is 20.
A baby.
Yeah.
Is there any more?
Mm-mm.
Are there any more siblings that just don't play?
No, those are all of their sons played. So it's a
hockey. Freaking dynasty.
It's a dynasty for sure.
Okay, keep going. It's like JJ Watson. Yeah. I'm blanking on the other brother's name, but keep going.
Yeah, it's like the Kelseys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had a really bad rookie season, and people were calling him overrated.
He was also a teenager.
Yeah,
You're putting a teenager against grown men.
Yeah.
Like, there's going to be a learning curve.
Mm-hmm. But
I'm a Jack apologist now.
Yeah. As much as people complain about him now, the team struggles when he's out of the lineup. And then in the 2022-2023 season, he set the record for the most points scored in a single season by a Devils player.
Okay, look at him
with
go.
99 points.
Look at that teenager.
Yeah. We can't talk about Jack Hughes without talking about Luke Hughes, the youngest, 20. Okay. He was drafted 4th overall in 2021 by the Devils.
They're on the same team?
Yes.
They kept it in the family that much? They're on the same team?
Yep.
That's so sweet, though.
Yeah. He's a defenseman. So Jack played for the U.S. Junior league instead of going to college.
So Jack is like...
Yeah.
He's that bitch, if you will.
He's a middle child.
We are built different.
Yeah, y'all are.
Aggressively so.
Luke went to Michigan and played hockey there.
Where are they from?
I think Florida. They're kind of from all over because, They lived in Canada for a while. I could do a whole episode about the Hughes family lore, and I probably will at some point.
I think we should. I think that is so fun.
Their dad coaches. Their mom was a professional hockey player. Like,
oh my god! So it's like
Trevor Zegras, who is also a professional hockey player for the Anaheim Ducks, lived with them for a period of time. Like, there's so much lore behind this family. I think I need to dedicate an hour to them.
Okay. So a dynasty.
Yeah.
A dynasty if you're nasty.
Yeah. And in Luke's rookie season, he was runner-up for Rookie of the Year.
Oh, cutie.
Okay, let's get into why they're called the Devils, because
I would love to play on a professional team with you, except, oopsies.
I would not.
I feel strongly that if anyone, the problem would be if anyone, like, hurt you, like, I would be obligated to.
Yeah, 100%. Throw hands. Absolutely.
You'd have to hold me back.
Let's talk about the New Jersey Devil.
Okay.
AKA the reason why they're called the New Jersey Devils.
Mm-hmm.
This is wild, and I need to find a video that goes into detail for you, but I'm going to keep it short while we're recording. So it comes from the legend of the Jersey Devil, AKA the Leeds family devil.
Okay.
From the 1730s.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. What is a Jersey Devil? I'm so glad you asked.
What is a Jersey Devil?
So glad you asked. A creature that is said to inhabit the forests of South Jersey.
Ooh.
Looks like this is my way to describe it, a picture of it. It looks like one of the flying dinosaurs, a pterodactyl. Is that what they are?
Well,
but
there's several, but sure.
But it's got the arms of a T-Rex. It's got short arms. And it has hooves and, quote, a blood-curdling scream. I was really hoping you were going to do that.
Basically, that's what it is.
It started with Jane Leeds.
Okay.
AKA Mother Leeds.
Ooh.
She had 12 children.
Ugh. Okay.
And people always theorized that she was a witch.
They hate to see a good woman.
This was
be
the
successful.
1700s.
Yeah, everyone's a witch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're talented? Oh, you don't like the patriarchy? You're a witch.
Mm-hmm.
Burn her. Drown her in water.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, when she became pregnant with her 13th child.
Oh my god. Okay.
She declared that it would be, quote, the devil.
I bet it was a devil.
Yeah.
That's a lot of kids.
From a few accounts at the birth, the child was born normally, but then transformed into a creature.
Ooh.
Beat everyone with its tail. Oh yeah, it has like the devil tail.
Okay.
Beat everyone with its tail and then flew out the chimney and into the woods.
Hell of a birth.
I love the way they tell stories of this era.
I really like that. I hope that is what happened.
Yeah. So that's the Jersey Devil. But while I was researching this, it then went into like the genealogy of her. And a couple generations prior was this man, Daniel Leeds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Why does that sound familiar?
I don't know. Daniel Leeds created an almanac business.
Cute.
You know Benjamin Franklin?
Yeah, I heard of him.
He had all those almanacs too.
Yep.
Well, when Daniel died, his business was passed on to his son, Titan Leeds.
That's a name.
Yeah, right. Who turned that business into a major competitor with Benjamin Franklin's Poor Richard's Almanac.
Mm.
They became freaking rivals.
Okay.
It was so intense that at one point in time, Benjamin Franklin satirically used his almanac to predict Titan's death.
Ooh.
And published it.
That is such a... I love it.
The beef went on. Titan called him a fool after death predictions.
Cutting.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Ooh, scary. To which Franklin responded essentially in a previous prediction, he would have already been dead. Ooh. So he's actually writing his almanacs as a ghost, resurrected from the grave to haunt me.
That is the type of lore I want to hear about.
And
get it, Ben Franklin. I don't doubt a word you're saying, bud. That's exactly what happened. I know that.
And Franklin continued to refer to him as a ghost even after Titan actually died.
That was just a fake death. He was already dead. We've been over this. That's the level of psychological warfare I want to be brought to the table.
Yeah. That is the...
He literally said, you don't exist to me, you're a ghost.
Yeah. He was like, you're
haunting me. Why are you so obsessed with me?
Period.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Yeah. So that was kind of what damaged that family's reputation, to then people being like, oh, that girl right there, she's a witch.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Born from a ghost, grandpappy or something.
And I guess that's just a story passed down because that's what the devils are named after. That's where their name comes from. Which
so,
is
like,
crazy.
Did the devil that flew out of her womb, did he, like, go play hockey or?
No.
Okay.
He just lived in the woods.
Okay. Well, let me run with this. If he's beating everyone in the room with his tail, it's giving hockey violence.
It's
I feel.
giving. Yeah.
I'm verifying it.
Okay. Can confirm the devil child was actually a professional hockey player.
They just didn't understand him.
Yeah.
Devil's pretty harsh to call a newborn.
Yeah. It was still in the womb.
So what if he looks a little different?
Yeah.
Think of all the skills he brought. He could have flown you places.
This is 2024.
He's going to the store to get your sugar and flour. He's back in 10 minutes, max.
Yeah.
You probably didn't have to pay because people were so scared.
Yeah.
But no. You just had to alienate him. Now he had to go live in a forest, and I'm sure he thrived there.
Honestly, probably.
Anyways.
Let's talk briefly before we get into the Rangers. Let's talk about the rivalry between the two. Yeah. Obviously, they're very close. They're 14 miles away from each other. The Islanders are also in there, so the three of them have beef, for sure. The games that they play against each other are referred to as the battle at the Hudson River.
Ooh.
Yeah, because the Hudson River separates them.
Okay.
And when Jersey plays the Flyers, who's like their second biggest rival, it's the battle at the Jersey Turnpike.
Okay.
Their games are always very physical.
Yeah.
And in preseason this year, in one of the games that they played against each other, they had 3 fights in that one game.
Heck yeah.
But mainly I want to talk about the April 3rd brawl between these two teams.
Okay.
There was tensions leading into it in the game prior. So Matt Rimpey, we'll talk about him in a second.
Okay.
He plays for the New York Rangers. He injured Devils defenseman Nate Bastian in that game, like knocked him out of the game.
Okay.
Curtis McDermott, who's also a defenseman for the New Jersey Devils, basically was like, do you want to fight?
Truly.
Because it's kind of crazy to me how casual they are. They will just be like, hey, do you want to fight? You want to throw the gloves?
I watched that.
And they either say yes or no. It is insane to me, though, how casual they can be.
Consent.
Hey, period. But Matt Rimpey would not fight him. Just, like, refused to fight him.
What a bitch.
Going into it, the starting lineup, they're next to each other.
Oh my God. Whose idea was that?
And you can see they're not even looking at the face-off. Puck drops 2 seconds in.
Yeah.
Everyone on ice starts fighting each other.
I think that's appropriate. I think that's healthy. I think that's to be expected.
Every single person fought.
Yeah. And did he get his ass beat?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think, honestly, so all but
the principle.
All but 2 people on the ice got ejected.
That's not good.
Because the rule with fighting, the first fight starts, you'll get major penalties, but you won't get ejected. Any secondary fights that happen after that, you're automatically ejected.
Dude, I wouldn't have even cared.
As all the players are fighting on ice,
the
coaches are screaming at each other in between benches.
Yes! That's a rivalry I can get behind.
Oh my gosh. It was great. The coach of the Devils at the time was like, I don't know why he was so upset that they were fighting. He knew it was coming. Like, how can you not expect that to happen?
Exactly.
Everybody else knew that was what was going to go down.
Oh my God, that makes me so happy.
8 people were ejected from that initial fight, 4 from each team. 166 penalty minutes were issued.
Oh my God.
Later in that game, Dawson Mercer proceeded to fight someone else.
Exactly.
He got ejected from the game. Because at this point, they were just like, we got to get this under control.
Oh my God, I love their vibe. I freaking love their vibe. Yeah.
And afterwards, what do you know? Curtis McDermott said that he respected Rimpey and understood that he was trying to make a name for himself.
That's not how you do it. By hurting people?
That's how
by injuring players?
Well, that's how he's made a name for himself. Let's go ahead and skip to the players because Matt Rimpey, he's 22 years old.
Okay.
He played 17 games last season.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, he came in like mid-season, and then they also scratched him from a few games, just healthy scratch. but got everybody talking about him. Because in game 1, he fought Matt Martin and basically proceeded to fight everybody in his path.
Okay.
He just walked around looking beat up.
Yeah.
Like double black eyes. Even now, I think he's already got a black eye this season.
All of a sudden, he wasn't scared to fight.
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's fine. If you're trying to fight, that's fine. Making dirty hits on guys and then not being willing to fight.
See, that's why Curtis McDermott was so pissed, is he had already made a name for himself as being the guy that comes out there and fights everybody. And he's like, you're not going to fight me?
He didn't want to fight Curtis. He didn't want what Curtis could give.
I think Curtis won that fight, too. Might I just add. He's 6'8".
This Matt guy is 6'8"?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I said, he's as close to an enforcer as you can get in the league now.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We should bring back enforcers.
I think he's got talent. I think he just needs to rein it in. He made a name for himself. He got everybody talking about him, but he needs to hone in on his hockey if he wants to keep a career. Okay. New York Rangers. F1 equivalent. Do you want to take a guess what I think their F1 equivalent is?
No, Red Bull.
Yes.
Yes. No, immediately says Red Bull.
Yeah.
They're such douches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Red Bull. I said they're very controversial and aggressive. Fans love them big. Haters hate them harder.
Yeah.
I also said,
that's true. That's very true of Red Bull.
This was the main thing that I thought of Red Bull for. Seems extremely toxic from the outside, but everyone inside seems to be thriving because of the toxicity.
Yeah, because they're probably toxic.
Unfortunately, they are the best and most consistent team in the Metropolitan Division, in my opinion. They were one of the original 6 teams in the NHL.
Okay.
They were founded in 1926.
Ooh.
Almost
the roaring 20s.
Yeah. Oh, this is a fun fact. Their current coach, Peter Lavalette, as of 2023, is the only coach in NHL history to lead 6 different teams to the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
And again, they are very good. They have 4 Stanley Cups.
Okay.
1928, 33, 1940, which if you remember the 1940 chant that the Carolina Hurricanes did against them, and then they won again in 1994. They have 2 conference championships and 8 division championships.
Okay.
Yeah. They were established by Tex Richards.
What a name.
Tex is his nickname, but he was widely known as Tex Richards. And they were quickly named Texas Rangers, which is so funny.
Dang it, that's cute.
That's cute. They pretty immediately had success. They were also the first team in NHL history to travel by plane.
Ooh,
because they're
bougie.
so old. Yeah.
We're rich.
And they won the Stanley Cup in only their 2nd season. In the mid-20s, or the mid-1940s, sorry, I was looking at the note above, they completely collapsed.
Most things did.
And missed the playoffs for 5 consecutive seasons.
Okay.
After making the finals and losing in 1950, they then went on to not make the playoffs for the next 12 of the 16 seasons that followed. And in the late 1960s, they moved into a new arena, which is the new version of Madison Square Garden.
Okay.
In 1970s, they made the finals twice, the Stanley Cup finals, but lost both times to the Boston Bruins.
Dang, they are good, huh?
Uh-huh. In 72 and 79.
Okay.
They continued to stay competitive all throughout the 80s and the 90s, made the playoffs every year, but losing except for 1994, where they defeated the Vancouver Canucks for the Stanley Cup. After 1994, they had some pretty rough seasons, and they entered a rebuild era in 2004. Their team captain retired, and they went without one from 2004 to 2006, which is really
I didn't know that was an option.
Well, there was the more research I do, the more common I kind of see it.
I mean, yeah, if you don't have a leader in your team and you're rebuilding, I can see it.
But also, you would think that you would want a captain, even if it's only for a short period. You need someone to lead the team on the ice. I don't know. But in this rebuild era, and after their team captain retired and they didn't have one. They went into the 2005-2006 season expected to basically be awful.
Mm-hmm.
But they had the best season since the last time they won a Stanley Cup.
Shoot.
They went to the playoffs for the first time since 1996. They lost in the first round.
But we still went.
But they still went. Yeah.
Participation credit.
Mm-hmm. They had some more rocky seasons. And then we arrive at 2014. After trading their captain in 2014, Ryan Callahan, they acquired Tampa Bay's captain, Martin St. Louis. So they basically just said, here's my captain. Can I have yours? Also, here's a draft pick. Can I have yours?
Shoot.
And they reached the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in 20 years.
A win is a win. I never doubted
Never
the execution.
Doubted.
I knew they knew what they were doing.
100%.
The whole time.
The whole time. I was fully in line with them.
I was like, of course. That makes sense.
Yeah. They did lose in the Stanley Cup Finals to the Los Angeles Kings.
But we still win.
But they still win. The trade of their captain for the other team's captain mainly comes from the team and Ryan Callahan could not agree on a contract at all. And St. Louis's contract with Tampa Bay, who then came there, they also just couldn't agree. So they basically just swapped seas.
So do you want to be difficult?
Yeah.
You can leave. Yeah.
He did want to be traded to New York, so it kind of worked out. They enter another rebuilding era.
Okay.
In 2018, from 2018 to 2020, and issued a letter to fans announcing, quote, "We might lose some familiar faces." Ick.
It's giving Atlanta Braves.
They traded multiple players. They fired their head coach. They had a mediocre season. And in 2019, they acquired Capo Caco, which is a hell of a name.
That's so cute.
Jacob Trouba, Panarin, and Igor Shesterkin, all of which are still there and still very significant players for their team. And they won the President's Trophy last season, which is just, they finished the regular season with the most wins out of anybody else in the league.
Okay.
They had a great season. They went to the playoffs. They made it to the third round of the playoffs, where they lost to the Florida Panthers, who actually went on to win the Stanley Cup that year.
Okay.
So they made it very far in.
Sure.
I've already talked about Matt Rimpey, but let's talk about some other players. They have a lot of great players.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about all of them, but they have like Trocheck, Cryer, and Panarin are big names. Anyways, their captain right now, Jacob Trouba.
Okay.
He's a defenseman. He is very aggressive on ice. In 2019, he was traded from the Jets, the Winnipeg Jets, to New York. He became the captain in 2022.
Okay.
Where a big turning point of a lot of people not really liking Trouba was in 2023.
Okay. What happened?
He had a bad game, and he was so pissed off that he took his helmet off and he threw it at his own bench.
His own players?
Mm-hmm. He was unreliable in the playoffs last year, even though the team was good. And so then at the end of last season, first of all, I feel like I should say, his wife is a doctor. She is doing her residency in New York, which was a big reason why he wanted to go to New York.
Yeah.
He, in his contract with the Rangers, has a no-trade clause where he cannot be traded until the end of it. His contract's officially up in 2 years when her residency is done.
That's a smart contract.
Yeah, it's very smart. However, the Rangers at the end of last season talked very openly about how they wanted to trade him, and he just was like, nope, my contract, no. As is his right. Yeah. Like, it's a smart contract. They have a family. His wife's in New York. I get it. But there was so much talk about it and so many fans getting behind it and everybody was complaining about it. And when it became obvious that they couldn't trade him because of this clause, they just didn't say anything. And their PR did a terrible job of handling it.
Do they just not like him because he's not very consistent and he plays dirty? Or is there a different reason?
Just, all of that. From the team's perspective, I think it's because he's not very consistent. Yeah, it's a bad vibe. The only other player I wanted to talk about from their team, and then we'll wrap this up, Igor Shesterkin. He is their goalie.
And he's their goaltender.
He's their goaltender.
Yeah.
And he is easily the best player on that team, the most important player on that team.
Okay.
They are doing contract negotiations with him.
Okay.
He's already very underpaid. And
that sucks.
He wants to be paid what he deserves, as is right.
Yes.
The highest paid goaltender in the NHL right now is Carey Price with the Canadiens at $10.5 million a year. Yeah.
Get it.
So Igor, they offered him more than that.
Wow.
And he turned it down.
Why?
Because he wants to be the highest paid player on the Rangers. Because he
on the Rangers. Well, I mean, if you're the most important, how much is the most expensive one on the team?
I want to say I saw somewhere that the highest paid member on his team was making like $11.5 million a year.
Okay.
But they offered him an $88 million contract over 8 years. So
okay. So
like $11.1 million a year.
Okay.
He turned it down.
Why?
Because he wants to be paid. Everybody's saying that they need to pay him $12 because he will be the highest paid player on that team. He'll be the highest paid goalie in the history of the NHL.
Okay.
And I think that will ease everything. They're still in contract negotiations. At the time that we're filming this, at least. He still has not signed a contract with them. But I think a lot of it comes from Jeremy Swayman, who's the goaltender for the Boston Bruins. And Jeremy Swayman's contract was up at the end of this past season. And he wanted something very specific, and his agent would not settle with the team until he got what he wanted.
Heck yeah.
And I think that that's what they're going to do. I think the Igor's going to get what he wants. If it's not from the Rangers, somebody else will pay him. Because he's an incredible goaltender. He deserves it.
He's an incredible goaltender.
He's an incredible guy.
Heck of a goaltender.
That one. Yeah. Okay.
Well, hopefully he'll get the contract he wants and
Yeah.
soon. I don't like them. I don't mind violence. Obviously, I don't mind fighting. But to go around just injuring players and playing dirty.
Yeah.
What do I know? I'm just a 25-year-old. Oh my God, I'm 26 now. I'm just a 26-year-old teenage girl. And I really like the Devils, I think. It could just be because I really like the concept. They all were like, no, we're just gonna fight. I like their vibe. I like the lore of the story.
Yeah.
I think that they should probably just bring themselves on down to Birmingham. I like the fact that there's 2 Hughes brothers. I think that's so cute. It's so sweet. It's family. All right. Well, any final thoughts?
Do you want to say, out of the teams that we've talked about, where your top 2 are? Is it that? Well, I'll let you do it.
I think the Devils right now are number 1.
Really?
It could just be because they're fresh on my brain. I like their vibe.
Yeah.
From what I've heard.
Yeah.
I like the family.
The family.
It's family themed. I like that. Dare I say the Islanders are number 2?
I think that's fine. I think last episode you were like, I love the Islanders.
I like them. I like their vibe. I like them. I like that. I like that boy.
I like that white
guy. Should I tell that team that I like them?
All right. Next week, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Flyers.
Okay.
The Pittsburgh Penguins. And the Washington Capitals.
Okay. Not very impressive names thus far. Well, anyways, I hope that we see you next episode. And that's all for now. Bye.
Bye.